Welcome to the 17th day of May 2023. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and I'm saying a big thank you to you for joining us on another interesting episode of the newspaper review here on THAF TV. Jennifer One More is the person here to look at the papers with me, and together we are going to be bringing you the headlines in different papers across the nation. Okay, so Jennifer, how do you do?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Okay, I'm good. Straight to the business of the day now. We shall be starting first by looking at the Daily Sun newspaper. Headlines here in the Daily Sun. We have the boldest headline here says, Senators will decide your fate. APC chairman tells Akpabio. Senators will decide your fate. APC chairman tells Akpabio. Advises Akwa Ibom ex-governor not to be late on NAS inauguration day. Confirms further consultations. That story is on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And on page 28 of Daily Sun, we have visa restriction. Good news for democracy. According to Boala, Fani Kayode condemns action. Visa restriction. Good news for democracy. According to Boala, Fani Kayode condemns action. Okay, details of that headline is on page 28 of the Daily Sun. On page 27, now we have deputy speakership. Deputy speakership. Benjamin Kalu faces hurdle as coalition wants slot zoned to Ebonyi. Deputy speakership. Benjamin Kalu faces hurdle as coalition wants slot zoned to Ebonyi. That story is on page 27 of the Daily Sun. On page 4 now we have court remands Sheun Kuti, gives 48 hours to police to complete investigation. Musician not charged yet. We only went to court for remand order. That's according to police on page 4 of the Daily Sun. And lastly, here in the Daily Sun for today, on page 26, this one says, Uzodimma Soludo clash on state police. Uzodimma Soludo clash on state police. Okay, that story is on page 26 of the Daily Sun newspaper. If you want more details on the headlines you heard, get a copy of the Daily Sun for yourself. Jennifer, one more. Please let me get your thoughts on the news here on page 20, on page 6. It says senators will decide your fate. APC chairman tells Akpabio. What do you make of this headline?
Yes, Cyril, that's what politics looks like for you. They're being truthful to Akpabio right now. The game and the whole thing is no longer in the court of the APC party alone. That is why Adamu there is telling to Akpabio that if you want to win, if you want to become the president of the
Senate president.
10th, the Senate president of the 10th National Assembly, you have to be early. You have to turn up early on that particular day of election because there are oppositions, of course. So you might come in late, and that will be the end for you. So the people that act the supporters, the APC supporters that are carrying Akpabio as their own don't want such to happen. And that takes us back to the 8th Senate, the bid for the Senate president during the 2015. That particular time, it was so funny, but it was a whole lot of drama. Let me take us back to that happening that had to do with, we had Ahmed Lawani that was actually the favorite because he had much support from about 50 persons in the House. And that was also APC. Then we had Bukola Saraki. And what happened was that Bukola Saraki was actually having supporters from PDP. So this became a serious war. Still at it, and when they were battling, the supporters such as Dino Melaye, that's to tell you that Dino Melaye did not just start today. Then Ike Kwerimadu, these people were behind Bukola Saraki, supporting him, while these other people were also with Ahmed Lawani. But on the D-Day, on the fateful day for the decision of the Senate president to be taken, these other people claimed that they attended a meeting at the ICC, the International Conference Center, Abuja, with Buhari, not knowing that that meeting, in fact, whether it was going to hold or not. But these other persons, Bukola Saraki, on the other hand, turned up for the election for Senate president. turned up. Meanwhile, the police had no go, oh yeah, this one, that one. And he had turned in, and at the end of the day, it became in his favor. The election was done, and he was declared the Senate president. By the time this other, and he had about 57 votes. By the time this other team were returning to the to the place of the legislature,
It was already too late.
yes, it was already late. They were like, how did this happen? Now Saraki is now the Senate president. That was how the war continued, to the extent that Remi Tinubu, that's Her Excellency to be very soon, the APC chairman then refused to give a handshake to Saraki, and the rest of the people kept pumping it, hitting it hard on him, and they raised a corruption case against him. That was when Ndume came in, and Lawani took over again. So that is because this group of people, Adamu today is reminding the former Akwa Ibom governor that don't allow what happened
in 1960.
in 1961, now
itself.
in 2015, to repeat itself. So that what happened to those members that were behind Ahmed Lawani, it was a serious shock. It will be a serious shock on them. Yes, of course, we are watching the whole drama. So this time around, don't allow it to happen to this time around, because so many people are not for you. Because you've been
So you don't
selected,
have to give them a reason to have the upper hand against you.
Because you've been selected, you don't just have to slack behind. So you turn up early. Don't be late, so that there'll be no repetition of what happened in the year 2015. That was a whole lot of drama, and we don't want it to happen this time around.
Definitely.
And that is coming from the APC chairman.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for your thoughts on that headline. A quick look now at the Guardian newspaper for more interesting headline. This one here in the Guardian says on page 6, World Hypertension Day. World Hypertension Day. Pressure, lifestyle, increase high BP among Nigerian youths. World Hypertension Day. Pressure, lifestyle, increase high BP among Nigerian youths. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. A lot of persons will actually be victims to this.
Yes, so
okay, let's take a good look now at the next headline. This one says on page 6, May 29th, Tinubu's inauguration, sacrosanct, says Afenifere, as Ohaneze disowns plan to participate. May 29th, Tinubu's inauguration, sacrosanct, says Afenifere, as Ohaneze disowns plan to participate. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 3 of the Guardian, we have Yari kicks. Yari kicks. Akpabio leads over 40 senators to parley with NWC. Yari kicks. Akpabio leads over 40 senators to parley with NWC. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. On page 29 now of the Guardian, we have Beware of Matawale. Arewa youths caution Tinubu loud CBN's Naira policy. Beware of Matawale. Arewa youths caution Tinubu loud CBN's Naira policy. That story is on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. And on page 8 of the Guardian, we have court remands Kuti over alleged assault. Court remands Kuti over alleged assault. That's on page 8 of the Guardian. On page 3, again, we have resident doctors begin warning strike today. Set May 29th deadline for federal government's intervention. Resident doctors begin warning strike today. Set May 29th deadline for federal government's intervention. That's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And lastly, in the Guardian newspaper for today, we have on page 4, this one says multiple challenges cripple primary healthcare nationwide. Multiple challenges cripple primary healthcare nationwide. That story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. Okay, that's the much we can take at the Guardian for today. Jennifer, please, I'd like to get your thoughts on, the son of the legendary Fela being arrested, being arrested for assaulting a police officer. Yes, in the internet, we've seen clips of him. We all saw how it happened, what he did to the police officer. And right now, there are claims that the police officer is on coma, that he should be given further, time in police detention. I don't know what you make of this headline.
Yes, actually, a lawyer to Sheun Kuti, that's Femi Falana, had pleaded that the young man should leave that particular place where he's being detained. Whereas they are requesting that he stays more 21 days while they check on the health of the police officer, which they claimed was assaulted by Sheun Kuti. I wouldn't say that serves him right, but on the other hand, this comes to the notice of citizens that you don't just do so many things and get away with it. Not because Mr. A did it and got away with it, so Mr. B also has to do it. It's a deterrent to so many youths in Nigeria here. Let us leave the fact that what we actually expect from the police force, in quote, is not what they're giving us, especially when it comes to protection and understanding our own side of the story so many a times. Because if we look at it, so many things have occurred. I must have passed, sometimes I've passed the bus stop while a policeman is literally abusing, let me use the word abuse, abusing maybe a passenger or a passerby. Because you saw someone carrying a bag, you're already calling the person sorts of names.
For minor reasons that could be talked over.
For minor reasons that could be talked over. So now here it looks like
because it's the other way around.
The other way around here now, the reverse is the case. So in as much as the IG, as the police commission is looking into this speedily and giving it all their time, giving it all attention that it needs, because now is a police officer. Let us still remind them that they also need to channel that same energy towards the citizens, towards what the police does to the citizens on the Nigerian road. Okay. Sometimes on the Nigerian road, you see a policeman. If actually their work is to check the papers anyway, I wouldn't say a policeman will come into or begin to, do some kind of things. I'm sorry to cut you, Jennifer.
I'm so sorry to cut you, but I don't know if you've actually seen, a viral video clip going viral on the internet lately. The same assault by a police officer on a citizen, a motorcyclist. I think that happened in Lagos from my findings. The police officer was using, something like that seemed like a rod from an iron to physically assault a bikeman. Whatever the reason may be, maybe the bikeman was at fault. Okay. We don't know yet, but has it gotten to the level where you have to use, stuffs that are so harmful to human health to hit somebody and all of that, and the guy was actually bleeding on his head. And I'm like, really? We're actually trying to solve a problem here, Sheun Kuti's own, and then the police are now going, it's now almost like, okay, they're trying to return the same energy to the citizens. So how do you think this whole thing is going to play out at the end of the day? Because I see this whole thing leading to a citizen police battle in the future. Because right now, it's more like a we no go gree kind of situation. I don't know how you see it.
Yes, that is what it seems to be like. It's been that way. And if the police goes further to release their men on the street, because I'm very sure they're not, sometimes the police commission is not aware of what their men are doing out there in the street. But with what you've just said, though I've not come across that particular clip, but I know there's so many clips like that. Sometimes you even ask yourself, are the policemen still using baton? I no longer see baton. You only see them with gun.
Now they use sticks.
Sticks.
Iron rods.
Iron rods. So if a police officer can go to that extent, so what do they want to do? Because a time will come, just like how Nigerian youth took laws into their hands and carried out the protest. And it didn't end well, the NSAS protest. But right now, with whatever that is happening, the police commission should try and balance the judgment. Okay. Try and balance it. Okay. So you've made your citizens to understand that you can take laws into your hand. That Sheun Kuti could have gone, should have treated the matter through other, using other approaches. Maybe calling the police or whatever approach.
He's saying the officer threatened to or tried to kill him and his family. Like that was what he was saying.
We saw the video. So the video will speak better. Okay. Now he's been asked to spend about 48 hours there in police custody and to pay a bail sum of about 1 million naira. So all this would have not occurred if Sheun Kuti didn't do that. So many celebrities are fond of this. Why slap? Why abuse an officer?
Okay, so Jennifer, do you think all this could be down to just how individuals are being recruited into the police force? Because just maybe, because a lot of persons might be saying, okay, maybe the measures for which one can actually join the police force is not as strict as it should be. That is why we have more of, according to, I'm sorry to use the word, more of people who are mentally ill in the police force. Because I see no reason why a normal person in his right senses who knows that, yes, I'm carrying out an arrest on this person, but I shouldn't inflict harm on this person until he is tried and proven guilty. But you're already beating him from the onset. You're already doing stuff to him and all of that. At the end of the day, you now find out, okay, he's not guilty, and then you now tell him sorry.
And you now tell him sorry.
So do you think all of this could be down to, the recruitment system of the police force?
Yes, the recruitment system of the police force is one of it.
Okay.
That's because of some of the reasons you've given. Because sometimes you find out that when the MPF forms come out, one way or the other, you will see a particular person. Looking at that person, the person is psychological, in fact, physically down.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you even have to see some body disability issues.
Okay.
And you begin to wonder, how was this person recruited?
Mm.
And you see someone with the person is not very sound. The person psychologically is not okay.
Yes.
Cannot even tell you.
And it's in the police force.
The person cannot tell you, excuse me, sir, please can you move this way?
They can't even talk politely
the
most
person
of the
will
time.
rather talk to you in an absurd way, in a way that you will not be able to digest it until you get home. That's one. Then secondly, there should be lots of, I suggest lots of sensitization.
Okay.
You don't just recruit these people and you push them to the road. They will cause more havoc.
Okay.
Yes, you don't just push them to the road. And that's what is happening right now. People are taking laws into their hands. Before a policeman will kill me, please let me protect my... That was actually what Shehu Kuti did, though he went...
too far.
He went too far. He went too far. I still remember the incident of the woman, the lawyer, I think Bolale in Lagos, that was shot by that policeman. If they saw that coming, maybe they would have done so. Maybe they would have pushed the policeman aside. They didn't see that coming. So nobody would want that. You know, he was with his family.
Okay.
No one will want that to happen to your beloved family.
I heard his wife came out of the car to calm things down, and he
Yeah,
told her to get back into the car.
The video showed that the wife came out. You know, so many Nigerians, so many African men, that's how you do. That's your own way. Madam, will you get back when I'm talking? You are not supposed to be talking.
No, we don't want you to interfere into issues that do not concern you.
Now, not make the man to seem little. No, in some cases, you need to allow.
Okay, Jennifer, just before I draw the curtain on this headline, the final question on this particular topic. How do you think this incident portrays the Kuti family, the Fela family right now?
Yes, that's a serious one. I've been thinking about that. I'm like...
what image do you think this gives to the family of Fela right now?
See, in life, we expect different things. It's not like it to keep going rosy. Before you become that kind of a family, before Fela got to that level, Fela is in the Guinness World Record.
Okay.
Before you got to that level, you must have had ups and downs. It's just for the moment. It's
Okay.
not as if their image is stained or anything. Corrections can come in.
So
He
you
can
think
say,
this
"I'm
doesn't
sorry."
stain the image of the family?
It's not staining the image of the family. Remember that family, all over the world.
I don't know,
They've
but
gone far.
I beg to differ. I beg to disagree, because personally I feel like, Fela's legacy is a legacy that, it's really going to live on for a very long time.
That is why I will say, excuse me, Cyril, that's why I will say your father's car is not your car.
Okay?
That is Shehu Kuti and this is Fela Kuti. Man,
But
Shehu
it doesn't
Kuti-
change the fact that the kind of lifestyle his father had when he was still alive, doesn't, it doesn't change the fact that that lifestyle gave the entire family, the entire generation, a certain look to the public.
I know that in the mind of so many Nigerians, they will be like, Shehu Kuti has really defamed or is really not protecting the image of the family. That's what
Definitely.
you're expecting me to say.
Definitely.
But to tell you the truth from my own end, I will say that Fela Kuti's image still remains intact.
Okay, that's your opinion. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for your thoughts on that headline. We'll go on a quick break right now, and when we return, we'll take our last paper for the day, and we'll call it a day. Please stay tuned.
Hey there! Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, Kitchen for our food content creators and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Yes, still on the newspaper review. You are welcome back from that short break, and we'll be taking a look now at the Vanguard newspaper, our last paper for the day. And the boldest headline in the Vanguard here says on page 19, federal government incurs 36.8 trillion naira deficit in 8 years under Buhari. Federal government incurs 36.8 trillion naira deficit in 8 years under Buhari. That story is on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper. And on page 6 of the Vanguard, we have 4 U.S. embassy staff killed in Anambra. 4 U.S. embassy staff killed in Anambra. That's a sad one. Embassy staff came under attack by gunmen in Agbaru area of Anambra. That story is on page 6 of the Vanguard. And on page 7 now, we have assault. Court orders Shehu Kuti's detention. Okay, we just spoke about this in the previous paper. And over now to the world of sports on page 30 in the Vanguard. This one says Manchester City versus Real Madrid. Guardiola, we need to play better to beat Real Madrid. That's Guardiola saying there. He says we need to play better to beat Real Madrid. That story is on page 30 of the Vanguard newspaper. And over now to page 5 of the Vanguard. This one says 10th NAS. Come early. Avoid Saraki-like coup. Adamu tells Pabio, Baru, others. I think we just spoke about this first in the first paper as well. Telling Pabio to come early. Okay. Over now to page 8 of the Vanguard. This one says Buhari baffled by pervasive level of corruption, according to presidency. Buhari baffled by pervasive level of corruption. That's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. On page 12 of the Vanguard now, we have Emefiele's Naira redesign curbed terrorism. Arewa youths tell Matawale. Emefiele's Naira redesign curbed corruption. Terrorism, I beg your pardon. Arewa youths tell Matawale. That's on page 12 of the Vanguard. On page 20 of the Vanguard now, this one says Nevers secures 20 billion naira commercial paper upsize. Nevers secures 20 billion naira commercial paper upsize. That story is on page 20 of the Vanguard. And lastly, in the Vanguard for today, we have on page 25, this one says federal government establishes 13 metropolitan fire stations across Nigeria. Federal government establishes 13 metropolitan fire stations across Nigeria. That's on page 25 of the Vanguard newspaper. Jennifer, one more. Before I call it a day, I would like to get your reaction to, I think, quite shocking news on page 8 from the presidency, which says Buhari are baffled by pervasive level of corruption. Please react to this, or I react myself.
Or you react yourself.
Yes.
President Muhammad Buhari, I'm very sure in less than 2 weeks now, you will no longer be baffled. You will start seeing things, and my shock will no longer be shocking him, because I want to use this word that people say, it shock you? It shock you? Like, seriously, there's this adage that says a bangle that is worn on the hand, we don't need a mirror to look at it.
Okay.
Nobody needs to tell you that, oh, Jenny, you're wearing a bangle on your hand, or you don't need to look for a mirror to say, oh, is that a bangle? In other words, why is Mr. Muhammad Buhari, why is he baffled? Why is he shocked?
What's baffling is baffled.
At the height of the corruption in our country, Nigeria, why is he shocked? And before I go into that, I want to remind us that this was said by his SA on media, that's Shehu Garba. He said that yesterday on Channels Television. And I'm wondering why Shehu will be saying such a thing, that the president is shocked at the prevalence, occurrence of poverty in our country, Nigeria. Why? Let us look at it. Is he not aware of the bribery? Like he's saying that it is actually the job of the executive to investigate and prosecute people that are fallen short of whatever in the society, that it is not their in their hands to finish the matter in court and find out whether the person is guilty or not. I think right now I'll laugh in Swahili. Yes, that's it. The case is shocking them because they found out that so many persons that ought to be in prison, I mean in prison right now, are busy walking on the streets of Nigeria without anyone questioning them. Let us look at the EFCC. At a point we come, the EFCC will tell you that we've just arrested, we've just combed the house of so person. This person had lots of billions, lots of cash stacked in his house. And before 3 months, what do you hear about it again?
Case dies off.
Case dies off. Or we hear the person has relocated to the US. Let us look at the case of Kwerimado, the organ harvesting issue. Do you think if it was in Nigeria here that we'll still be hearing about the case?
Obviously.
So Buhari should be able to compare or look at why he's shocked that corruption is still at the highest peak in our country. This is because the people that are supposed to supposed to put things in place are not doing the right. We've just talked about the police. Now is the turn of the common man. Let me use the word common man. You're coming out to say, let us look at the 2023 election, especially the presidential election. Is that not a typical example of what corruption looks like in the country, Nigeria? What was done about it?
If corruption was a person.
If corruption was a person, the 2023 election
would have been that person.
Would have been that person. Looking at the INEC chairman, which other corruption are we talking about? Yes. Let us look at the lobbying. The politicians, the people that have been given charge of so thing, people that education is under their power.
And yet heads are not yet rolling.
Thank you very much. There's no money, there's no money. When the cash crunch began, when the information came for a new money, the Naira redesign, we saw some people where money was stacked in bags. So where were those money? So our number one man, he shouldn't be shocked. What you should just say, I don't know what you should say, but there's no reason for him to be baffled. Yes, there's no reason for him to be baffled.
So you think he was just being sarcastic?
Yes, for the past years, Mr. Muhammad Buhari promised us change, and I have not seen that change. Rather, corruption has increased and is at its greatest peak. There's no reduction in corruption. There was an example that was given by Shehu Garba. He said Nigeria by Infinity Group. Nigeria was came down from 154 amongst the 180 most corrupt countries. And I'm laughing. I'm like, wow, that's cute. When you go to the Arab world, when you go to China here, Indian world, what is happening? Nigeria, drugs, this one, that one. That is because we have some men at the top that are supporting these things. And you claim not to know? You're not supposed to be baffled. When he comes out, we'll give him a... You know, sometimes when you're at a place, you don't seem to see very well. Okay. But when you leave that position, yes. I don't know if it has happened to you.
Definitely.
Yes. When you leave that position, he's beginning to see many things. He's beginning to see many things. Like the other time he said, I think I'm the best president so far. The promise I gave to you, I met it. And everyone were laughing when almost 133 million Nigerians are in abject poverty. So,
thank you so much, Jennifer, one more for your time with me on the program today. I really do appreciate you coming. And I want to appreciate you too, my wonderful viewers who have stayed faithful to your screen up until this time. Without you, this program won't be possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. TAFTV_NG is our Instagram handle. Please do well to follow us on Instagram and, of course, other social media platforms. You can follow us as well on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok at TAV TV. Okay, Cyril Aloysius is my name, and I'm saying a big thank you to you once again. This is the end of the newspaper review for today, and until we come your way again next time, do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye for now, and thanks for watching.